Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAERAEs Review, where you know who we is, me and Aaron, will be letting y'all know what happened on Southern Charm, Season 10, Episode 14. Everybody, welcome Aaron.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. And how about that new intro? I love it. Thank you, subscribers. Let us know what you think of the new intro in the comments.
All right, yes. And speaking of something new, drum roll, please. That's even a drum roll. It don't even sound like a drum roll, but it's going to be a drum roll for right now. We have some exciting news that we are sharing. Yes. We will have our first collab on our Drag Race Season 17 series. It'll be actually episode 11, not episode 10. And it's going to be with our very own king of the Biffas, Alexander Rogers.
Yay!
Just an FYI, so you guys tune in Saturday, March 15th at 2 o'clock. We're going to have a live, okay? Don't forget y'all, okay? Any words for this?
No, I'm just very excited. 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, everybody. Please join us.
Yes, yes. Well, back to the Southern Charm, girl. They sure are Southern, but they lose a little charm, if you ask me. I mean, good grief. You know, they've been really adult. They've been really adultish this episode, Season 10, Episode 14. I mean, Craig and Paige, they some good adults. I mean, Austen adulting. Girl, Madison, definitely adulting. Molly, Taylor, JT, Venita. Ooh, that JT stuff. We're going to save him towards the end, y'all. I think that's a cliffhanger, if you ask me. Golly. Ooh. But anywho, Craig and Paige, girl, they getting it in. I guess we seeing the calm before the storm, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people are picking up because they're watching Summer House as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Craig just arrived to Summer House. He's going to be featured next episode next week.
Ooh.
I don't know. It's making me wonder if we're going to see the July 5th incident. I don't know if it was this year or I think it might have been last year, so maybe not, or the year before they filmed. I don't know. Anyway, the simultaneous Paige and Craig shows, it's making my head swim a little bit. But a lot of people are commenting now that they've broken up that they feel very disjointed. Like everybody's kind of saying Paige is not that into Craig. Like she doesn't want to settle down. She doesn't want to do any of these things. So, it just calm before the storm. To me, before I knew they broke up, this just seemed like how their relationship always was. So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't watch Summer House, but for those of you who do, y'all know what's going on. And I guess y'all get a little taste of it over here. And then it drops off over there. And because it seemed to be as cordial and loving over here. So it's going down over Summer House, y'all. So don't forget to tune in. When does it come on? After Southern Charm?
It comes on Wednesdays at 9, I believe.
Okay, and Southern Charm is Thursday. So y'all don't forget to watch Summer House on Wednesdays on Bravo.
They are playing with our emotions.
Okay, and speaking of playing with folks' emotions, okay, so we start off with Craig and Paige, right?
Yeah.
They, everybody's back from the Bahamas and all the debacle that went on down there. And, folks is hungry. They've been doing it all night and carrying on. So Craig and Paige, they decided to have some bacon and eggs. And he want to see her on the, what do you say? I want you to sit on the counter. You know what that means. He want to feed her some breakfast. But she decided to sit at the table. Like, girl, he giving you a clue. He wants to be sexy with you when making breakfast. Have your man ever got sexy with you making breakfast in the morning?
If I had a man that made breakfast.
Oh, damn. Well, I have. So maybe I'm reliving the glory days.
Yes, we live on for both of us, okay?
But it has happened, especially after a night of passion. We know that they did it. I mean, come on now.
Sure. Yeah.
If your man tell you to sit on the counter for breakfast, would you sit on the counter or would you go sit at the table?
I would sit on the counter. I'm not interested in the kind of way that Paige kind of like isn't into her dude. Like, that's just not my love language. I would be a little bit probably grosser and more lovey-dovey with Craig. Yeah.
And it's always a little more sexy when you sit on the counter. When you see them making, you get making a little pop of the bacon. Oh, that hurt. I'll rub it for you, baby. I mean, he was looking for, a moment in the kitchen. And she just sat her happy behind at the table. If I heard him, I know she heard him. So, girl, why are you being anyway? I just said, why didn't she sit on the counter like he suggested? It's a sexy vibe. You know what I'm saying?
I also wonder if they're paying her to appear. I don't think so. I think she's just on filming as Craig's girlfriend, and this is just breaking the fourth wall. And I always get the feeling she like films begrudgingly because she does this for a living, right? She's doing it on another show.
Girl, sit your behind on the counter like your man suggested. That's all I'm saying. I don't give a doggone if you're getting paid. If you filming, you filming. You feel me? I mean, it's like it's just one little thing I caught. I was like, he said so on the counter, and you chose to sit at the table, way on the other side of the table.
It's foreshadowing.
Oh, Lord. So then they start talking about, just, of course, Craig and Austen and everything. And they made up and, just thinking of his sobriety and I think I wrote down, you're giving sober. Oh, when Austen told Craig that you're being sober to keep up an image, while Craig was like, no, I'm not spending so much time with you so that I can stay sober. Hello. Yeah. And remember, we talked about this. It seems like Austen isn't catching what Craig is putting down, but I put in parentheses, maybe because Craig is still drinking.
This area is very, even me, and me, I'm all like, live your life, do what you need to do, whatever. Right. But I just don't quite understand what's happening because I'm catching that like beers are always in a cozy at Craig's house. We've heard him order a Bud Light before. Austen did say in an interview with Chicks in the Office, I told you he made that comment about low alcohol volume beverage beer, like I think like a 3%. I think Craig is consuming that. Like, and listen, that is your business, but like, It's just a little sketch. I don't know if maybe you haven't sorted yourself out yet, but like, if you're still consuming small bits of alcohol, it's I don't want to hear you say you're sober, you know? Like cuz you're not. Like alcohol could even a low volume, even 3% beer, like there are times that Craig seems under the influence still. And
Mhm.
like I said, if you're managing your life, whatever road you've chosen is your business. But this
Right.
whole thing is a little weird. So I don't know.
And they just kind of just discussed it. Of course, Paige is on her man's side because whoever he
Mm-hmm.
beefing with, she gonna beef with him, and rightfully so. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did
So,
appreciate that. I did appreciate
yes.
that.
So of course, every time they talk about somebody, they go to that somebody. So next
Yes.
we see Austen hosting his sister to come over. And it seemed like she came over in the morning and they started drinking. Now again, to each his own. But they just as soon as she got there, crack it open. Let's get to drinking. And
Well, you notice that's what his parents did too.
hello, I was just gonna say, it
Oh,
seems like
sorry.
no, it seems like every franchise they're drinking
Mm-hmm.
at some point. Who's not drinking on these and of course Toya and Eugene, just FYI, she cracking open something, or he already got something, if he
Mm-hmm.
ain't going to work there, it's like alcohol is just rampant with these franchises. And I'm like, Kyle, listen, I'm dry because it's too much going on. And I'm just thinking, especially with the different franchises, it's not like a summer house where you're expected. I mean, it's summertime, they having fun. Winter house,
Yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
this is everyday life. And a lot of alcohol is being consumed. I'm just thinking about it. Everything I watch,
Yeah.
reality shows, they're drinking every time. I'm like, that's a lot of alcohol being consumed.
I think that they get used to drinking so that they loosen up and act, uh, however on camera. You know what I mean? And I think we've watched throughout the Bravo work, like the Bravo, like
Bravo Spear.
thank you, gosh, save me, the Bravo sphere, that people have struggled with alcohol consumption because you do reality TV for about a decade and you develop a drinking problem, right? Like you use alcohol to
Girl.
cope, or you were doing some kind of uppers in conjunction with drinking so that you didn't get blackout drunk and make a complete embarrassment of yourself. And Craig's not the only one to have done that. So I do think it's a bit of an epidemic, especially in the Bravo sphere. I don't think they're quite addressing it probably the right way because everyone is so quick to shame those who finally admit that they have a problem. And God forbid they admit that they pair an illegal substance with it as well. But um, you know, at the same time, they are encouraging it and everybody's doing it all and they're showing it all the time, like you said.
Because rare does the talent bring the liquor. I mean, on rare occasions, especially the show's talent. But like her, she brought something. People who come to the
Yeah.
party, they'll bring something, but there's always something there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And
Vander.
uh-huh.
No,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because that was part of Austen's issue when him and his sister started talking about Craig. Like he couldn't take Craig seriously, more so because Craig wasn't being totally honest. And I put in parentheses, yeah, I mean, maybe because he was drinking already. So just like in the previous conversation, it's like there's always drinking involved, but people aren't being totally honest about themselves, specifically why Austen pretty much got it wrong with Craig. Instead of taking Craig seriously, Austen just kept the same vibe going as they have always been to each other over the years. you know?
I think, yeah, I agree. And that's an interesting angle that I didn't even think about before, because if Craig still is doing some low alcohol volume consumption, like having a Bud Light, like we've heard him order, and like I
Mhm.
said, I know I keep sounding like a broken record, but I just remember being very struck by the fact that Austen was talking about Craig drinking. The way he said it struck me. He goes, yeah, well, Craig not drinking, or drinking non-alcoholic beer, or like ABV, or whatever the heck the stupid acronym is.
Mhm.
He made a point to throw that in there because I think he needed to cover his bases, knowing that sometimes Craig consumes alcohol, so of
Yeah.
that nature. So it's, to me, I think also too, I think all of them have drank and done drugs together. I think the rumors have flown about the boys partying, and I'm sure that
Mhm.
Austen has, you know. So, I think that part of him maybe doesn't take Craig 100% seriously as far as that goes. Like, oh, do you want to be seen not being a certain way? Because, like you said, there's still some alcohol consumption, and they're all used to doing that, but then not really doing that. Because look at Shep, he put himself out on the cross at the last reunion talking about his
Sure.
drinking problem, and then the next thing you know, he's falling asleep getting kicked out of the casino in the Bahamas because you know he couldn't take the hint with Sienna.
I mean, it's one thing to just pass out on the beach, but you get kicked out somewhere because of your behavior because you can't hold your liquor.
Yeah,
Nah,
it's the
dog.
it's the same shit, different day. Ayahuasca didn't solve that for you. This
No,
is Bravo Con all over. You cannot control your alcohol intake, especially when you're emotional,
he
and then
should
you do crazy stuff.
he shouldn't mention ayahuasca no more.
I know that didn't cure nothing for you,
Don't even go back over there.
but yeah, don't go back. Yeah,
That's why he went to Cuba.
I know, right? Listen, I need to call up, I need to call some distant relatives over there and be like, hey, did you see Shep? How was he? What was he up to?
And a little bit more about Craig and his sobriety. I don't want to kick a dead horse because again, I don't want to seem like I'm passing judgment, but just because he discussed it more in depth with Paige, meaning when they did the flashback to him
Mm-hmm.
on Summer House years ago. I think that's at 2022 or 20. That was when they kind of first got together. 2022,
Yeah,
2023.
he was a mess on Summer House and Winter
Yeah.
House.
Yeah, you talked about that, and her roommates were letting her know, what's up with your man? Because he is
Yeah.
just out of control, and yada yada. And I think was that before or after he got sober from Adderall?
After.
Okay, so he went from one substance to another per se, right? Again,
Um, I, I
no
think it's more.
judgment.
I think it's more like when you're on a stimulant, you can consume large quantities of alcohol, right?
Yeah, because
And
it's a
so,
down.
what?
Because it's a downer, the alcohol kind of
Yeah, but like
makes you down. Yeah.
it's a stimulant, so you don't get as drunk. Like it keeps you, like you
Yeah.
can consume a lot more. So I think that once you, not for everybody, but I think Craig is kind of showing this. I've kind of, growing up
Mhm.
living in LA, people being around people that partied and watching certain progressions, right? I
Mhm.
think that once he cut out the stimulants, his brain chemistry didn't stop drinking to the excess level that he did on the stimulants,
Uh-huh.
and was just going over into that blackout, sloppy, personality changing kind of drunk because he didn't have the stimulants to keep him like more sober.
And that's when he said going over everything with Paige. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear him say she gave him an ultimatum. He may have oversaid it, but it sounds like I know for a fact he said, if it wasn't for you, Paige, I would have not gotten sober.
Yeah.
So there may have been something like an ultimatum, but he made the decision to keep her in his life and be sober. One could only imagine, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that at least she had purpose in his life, because we all know that they broke up, at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that, we always wonder why was someone, and what was the season that someone shedded on our lives, and perhaps that was his saving grace, was being in a relationship with Paige.
I agree. I
So,
mean, he got kicked out of Kyle and Amanda's wedding. That was the cast of Summer House. I think they got married in 2022, maybe even I think 2021. This was like when Paige and Craig were first together, but he was such a drunk mess that he got kicked out of their wedding.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so yes, and Paige has held him down. I will give her that. No matter how much she acts like she doesn't like him, she's been very supportive and very discreet about what I'm sure are a lot of drunken mishaps, because and if we were to go and look back at Craig on Southern Charm, we'd be reminded of his drunk temper tantrums. Like, he's known for them even on Southern Charm, so before, when he was still on Adderall, so either way, he's gone to the place where his alcohol consumption dramatically changes his personality to the point where he's just not fun to be around. And that's the sign that you need to abstain, or change your drinking approach to a place where you don't get like that. And most people who drink till they can't stop, or, like in that vein, you can't control it. That's the whole point. So best of luck to you, Craig. No matter what.
The best of luck in all of your sobriety, whatever and all that it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's your journey.
Honestly, I'm sorry, what?
I would say it's your journey, and I respect that. But stop faking us out, though. Pick one.
Okay.
Don't say sober. Don't say sober. If it's a 3% alcohol beer, it's not sober, babe. It's just not.
It's not. I was gonna say, I've only been around happy drunks. I've never experienced being around someone, I guess those mean drunks or whatever it's called. Because we just party, and it's not like it happens all the time.
Right.
Because I'm always on my grind taking care of business, so I don't get to party like that, but maybe a few times a year. So and when we get together, we have nothing but fun. So if in fact, and of course, having a dependency is more than just doing something 3 times a year. So I get it. I was just saying that I've only had good experiences when folks got sloppy drunk.
Right.
So
yeah,
I hope I never have those experiences. But at the same time, I did echo your sentiments about his sobriety and everything.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you're allowed to choose what works best for you. And I thoroughly support people standing behind them doing what works for them. Like, hell, I'll even support, even though I will support Shannon choosing to continue to drink, because as long as you are not bringing negative consequences to your life, who am I to tell you what to do? And
that's really different.
Well, I know.
You get a house.
Well, I mean,
put it down, boo boo.
I agree, but at the same time, I'm still not, in my mind, I mean, well, whatever, because God forbid the second time is, Karen, we have Karen in the 4, but the point is,
her too.
If you are controlling your life and the negative consequences are not affecting them, who am I to tell you what to do? I can have my opinion, but you need to stand behind what your choices are. And I think, and trying to claim sobriety, if that's not the case, just say that you consume very small quantities. But I don't really understand, because like I said, we're seeing this shit on the low, and he's saying that he couldn't handle any drinking. So make it make sense. Next season, please have that reconciled. Okay.
Okay. You said Shannon. Now I'm smiling. You know why I'm smiling, right?
Yes, because we know Ladies and gentlemen, aunts and unks, I don't know how this lady didn't know that Gretchen was returning to Orange County, but it was news to her just recently.
At 4 in the morning, I'm texting her knowing we both need to be asleep because we got lives to live during the week. Okay. I'm like, what Heifer gonna say? I thought you knew. You see, there goes I thought shit again. I swear, when folks thought me, I get upset. I thought every time somebody tell me I thought they didn't piss me off.
Listen, this news has been out and about. You have had your head in too many books.
Listen, just like when Barry White died, I found out 2 weeks later, and my whole family knew. As Barry White. Listen, all the aunties and uncles know Barry White. So you know when one of your faves is gone on to glory, and you find out 2 weeks later, you know you have an attitude, and I still bring it up to this day. Every time I remember when y'all told me 2 weeks later Barry White died, and then it's similar to what Alex when
Yep, listen.
We talk about Janet. It's like remember when or but. Y'all, Gretchen, look, this is a whole nother thing. This ain't got nothing to do with Southern Charm, but she mentioned Shannon Bedore, and that led me to think about what's going to be happening. Real Housewives of Orange County, and yes, we will be reviewing because my girl Gretchen Rossi is coming back
to give Tamara.
Girl, I'm gonna have both my girls, Heather and Gretchen. Ooh,
yep.
Let me tell you, and I instantly went to her Instagram, and she had on my favorite print. Her husband and their baby had on houndstooth. And if you know me, you know I love me some houndstooth because Drag Race two seasons ago, Q had on this girl. If I can get that made for me, I'm about to contact Q when I just lose a few more pounds, make sure it look good. But girl, you got to make that outfit. And I'm gonna give you my measurements, girl. I don't care how much it costs, make it for me. Because when she wore that houndstooth, I said, that's my bitch right there. That's who I'm choosing. And then she messed it up with that old lady baby doll dress. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, my girl Gretchen Rossi is coming back to Real Housewives of Orange County for season what? 18? What season they on? Girl.
I need to look to remember.
That was first, right?
Yes, they were. They are the OGs.
Girl, whatever it is, girl.
Yeah.
So just FYI, when you see the previews and the premiere episode that week, we will be dropping the review. Please believe me. No hesitation. FYI. Okay. So okay. Let me calm down. Because I was really excited when she mentioned the OC, and I'm still smiling. Okay. Oh, where my notes, child? Whoa. Oh, Austen. Okay, so Austen, his sister, also he kind of brushed over that he wished he had known how Craig really felt, because now it explains a lot where it wasn't just Craig just ignoring him. It was more or less, again, Craig wanting to maintain his sobriety in whatever way he saw fit. Okay. And not, do the things that he was doing before. So, and I'm glad that Austen understood that. I'm glad he didn't just ignore it or place blame. And these guys are the most in tune with their feelings dudes I have ever seen on reality TV. All three of them, the Shep, Austen, and Craig. I'm pleased. I'm pleased because they are so in tune with their feelings, and it's just so it's endearing to see. But they still,
yeah, I'm like, exactly.
Okay, next we got Paige. Oh yeah, so Paige is did we go there already?
I think we kind of did. I feel like we kind of merged their two combos in one. Again, the editing
about the sobriety. Okay, cool.
I hate the editing. Shame on you, production.
Oh yeah, we gonna read you for
Yeah.
filth at the end of this. Okay, so we see Madison talking to her mom. Her mom is visiting. They're real cute together. You know, they're in the study and everything. I think she's selling her house now, if I'm not mistaken. I
Yes.
think she mentioned they did a little flashback to when her and Brett was in the bed. I don't like when they be filming couples in the bed. It seems a little intrusive. But anyway, that's just me, y'all.
It's unnatural.
So they were talking about, okay, so now I guess we working on that baby yet, huh? We have to get a bigger house. So do you think they're gonna get a bigger house now that she's pregnant? Is that why, she's selling?
Yeah, probably.
All right, good for her. Make a cool little 2.3 or however much she's gonna sell it for. And good news, Brett's scans came back negative, benign, just some extra tissue that don't really mean nothing. And because I didn't know this, that at the same time both her husband and father were diagnosed, her father had a few weeks. I didn't know that it was at the same time. That's how I'm like, she kept it under wraps, or at least I didn't know.
I didn't realize quite. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she did share that she had lost her father to cancer, but the fact that she had to deal with both at the same time, Madison dealt with a lot of stress. But Madison kind of almost reminds me of that she has the emotional constitution of a dude. You know what I mean? The way she kind of tells you guys all need to just get over it. You're acting like a simp. You're doing, she's kind of like, man up. And so I can see her just not liking to be super vulnerable, but I can only imagine how stressful all that was. And I'm very happy to hear that he is cancer free.
Yes, me too. Me too. And he just looked so happy. I can't wait to see them holding a little bundle of joy and everything.
Did you hear they're having a girl?
Yay! Oh, that's what she wanted.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Having
That's
a
what
girl.
She
wanted a girl is what she's having.
I wish she would have had twin girls. I'm just saying. That's just me. But, I'm not in charge. So I wasn't there.
No.
So while her and her mom are talking, Brett and Hut's not there playing water gun, fighting and carrying on, just having a good old time. It must have been really hot. That sounds pretty cool. I'm glad that Hudson is getting what he needs, because it's really important for children. And I'm an advocate, as I already told you. It's really important for kids to feel nothing but love in the home. Even though there's things going on, I really enjoy seeing him and Brett together, and Brett can't wait. I know he can't wait for that little girl to get, that girl gonna be spoiled. Oh my God. She gonna be worse than her mama. And let her mama tell it she found Madison in the restaurant or had a whole 6-course meal or something ordered by the time her mom found her in the restaurant ordering food. I'm like, well, dang. Okay, girl. Must be cute. Anywho, so next we see Venita walking her dog, right? And she's calling JT to invite him to what we know as a party hosted by Madison and Ryan. Now, do you remember what the party exactly is? I didn't write that down.
I forgot.
Well, anywho, it's gonna be cute because
some dress up. Yeah, fancy. It's a fancy party like they do at the end of every season.
Okay, cool.
So some ball, some kind of ball.
And it's not at Patricia's?
I know.
That's interesting. Patricia ain't involved, huh?
I guess not.
But he real hesitant to go, because he didn't like how he was treated out there in Bahamas. I don't blame him. He's like, I don't know. Him and Han and him. But Venita was like, you have to go. You have to go. You just have to come with me as my +1. But she did confirm with him that he was invited, but she just wanted to date. Production making her look like something she ain't. We gonna get there. We gonna get there, child. Oh my goodness. So next on the list of something folks ain't is Molly. Molly and Taylor hook up with their dogs. They're having a cute little time, going to giving the dogs something to eat, getting them a little refreshing beverage or what have you. And y'all know, and so is my co-host, no, I don't understand why the pH has to consistently be tested or imbalanced. Molly does not need to be with Shep, but Taylor's okay with it. Molly talking about people pushing her to be with him while they was in the Bahamas after find out that Sienna wasn't about nothing. Like, she has a crush on him, but sometimes we do have that in our friends group. We may think somebody cute, but oh, okay, we may envision something, as she stated, but she said, I'm not trying to jump on that train. I don't want to have to deal with, with all that. And that's what I admire about her. She ain't thirsty.
Yeah, I mean, it's really awkward. He is not over the Sienna situation, and to try and shove her on him like a consolation prize, she knows it's humiliating. So, yeah, I like Molly. This is one of those weird scenes, where you're like, really? But I saw what happens next episode. So, she doesn't take her own advice.
Yeah, I'm sick of the pH always getting tested, with the same group of people. It's like, come on, y'all. I mean, I know y'all get together, hormones and pheromones and all the moans, and then the people moaning. And I get the moaning. I get the moans, but y'all don't have to just show some restraint. What's they say? Patience is a virtue. Just calm down, y'all. They just a bunch of horny folks, ain't they? I mean, golly. Oh Lord.
Yes, they are.
So after all that mess, we of course they talk about Shep, so we go to Shep. Shep crying to us, not really crying, y'all, but he's back from Cuba because he did say after Bahamas he's going to Cuba to let off some steam. Don't tell him what that meant. And
yeah,
he called his daddy to give his daddy the news that ain't nothing going on in Bahamas. We just gonna move on. And dad was like, yeah, sometimes you just gotta move on, son. That's the first time I've heard Shep's father.
I think it is. I think so too. Like, I remember his mom, but I don't remember. Yeah.
He's been an enigma all these 10 episodes. 10 seasons.
Well, it was such a dad answer. Well, you gotta move on. Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
And it sounded like his dad was pleased. Like, you don't need that no way,
Yeah, I don't, They were probably all looking at him like, what are you doing?
Now we find out Salley, we already know Salley gonna take her fake boobies out. So her and her mom are on their way to the pre-op. So she gonna take them out, and he told her, yeah, they look perfect when they're not supposed to be. They're apparently they're parallel to each other, where they should be a little outward or just off or whatever. And she was like, oh. I said, oh, really? Myself. Like, okay, Doc, I guess he know what he's talking about.
I guess.
And her mom was like, I just want to know, can she breastfeed? Because I want some grandbabies. That ain't what she said, but I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
Listen, of course we want to be grandparents. We want to, have some, to make our kids jealous for you. That's what we live for, okay? Bottom line, for those of us who do, not everybody, but I thought that was pretty cute, her and her mom. I like to see when the ladies and their moms do things. That's what they need. Miss Patricia needs to host something with the ladies and their moms. I have yet to see that. She always hosting the men. When she gonna host the women and their moms?
Yeah. She definitely has a bias, doesn't she?
Oh. Patriarchal heifer. No, I'm just kidding.
Seriously. Yes.
I'm just kidding.
You'd better not let Craig hear you say that.
Okay, he gonna say something else.
Yeah.
And I still believe JT didn't say that about Miss Patricia, but we gonna get there. Okay, so next in visiting Craig and Paige, y'all, and it's a very good visit. They show him their bee children when they a few episodes ago when they had a little fight about whether or not they're going to have kids or and whatnot later on in their years. They went to a bee farm and apparently they've adopted or bought some bees and they have some bees on their property. I'm like, what?
Yep.
What?
Yep. They got bees. They are contributing to the environment. Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a cute little filler scene. Everybody's coming back together. We're getting along, it's nice. And Austen and Paige talking about how much they like long distance relationships.
And I found out that Audrey, who was Austen's girlfriend, is 10 years younger. And they're already talking about down the line, if we're together, sure, we can have kids. I'm like, okay, 10 years apart. So she got, just because the advanced maternal age, because of course, when we're in the womb as women, our eggs are working. So that's why we're at 34. We are considered advanced maternal age and high risk pregnancy because our ovaries have been working before we even knew how to say ovary. So, that's what is understood as advanced maternal age. And so she got no more than 10 years with this man if they stay together to not be considered high risk pregnancy. So that's really interesting. Just FYI, in case you didn't know about the reason why a woman at 34 is considered advanced maternal age. Because at 35, it's like, uh-oh, you're pregnant. Uh-oh, we got to test you. We got to watch out for you because your body has been working since you were in the womb. So yeah, it's just really interesting to hear, but 10 years apart, interesting. They love a good age gap, don't they?
I'm surprised you didn't know that. She looks like she's more like 20 years younger than him. It's creepy how much younger she looks than him to me.
Well, that 18-year-old that Whitney had at the cup thing.
That reminds me.
She just turned 18.
Yeah, they're all pigs that way. They want attractive women that they can control, except for Craig.
Not to mention those who are no longer on the show.
Oh my God, exactly. The misogyny is real. But whatever. I'm not surprised. She's 10 years younger. She's not going to be bugging him for a commitment anytime soon like that or whatever. So whatever, Austen, have fun.
I'm glad because when I saw her on the episode when she was, met his parents for the first time, she looked real nonchalant. So I'm like, I like that about her. She wasn't overdoing it. She wasn't trying to get in good. She was just like, hey, yeah, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
Like she had about 3-4 edibles before they got there. She was real. I mean, she was literally laid back in a chair, arms on the thing, like, yeah, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how you do it. Just, I'm just here for the moment, like Sienna. I'm just here for a good time, not a long time. Oh, Sienna. All right, girl. Well, I guess we'll see you next time we see you. But anyway, so yeah, they 10 years apart and kid conversation came up and, it wasn't an argument. They just had a cute little conversation. So, again, Paige let Austen know that when my man's beefing, so am I. So Austen understood that she ain't just a bitch. It was a purpose for her to be the way she was, which is, that's how we is with our men. We're gonna have their back. What else? That was it for them, child. But girl, here we go. Here we go, y'all, with Venita, JT, Ryan, Leva, and the barber. I can't believe I heard what I heard. I just can't. And okay. So, of course, we've been giving production the blues over the last few episodes about how they've been making Venita look like something she's not. And even you pointed out, because some things you've seen, I haven't, some things I've seen, you haven't, and some things we've both seen, and the things that we've talked about came to a head. My opinion,
I agree.
At the end of this episode, if production would just put things in chronological order, it will make so much more sense. For those who don't know, they are judging Venita to be some trifling, home wrecking type of female, some sex craved, just all of the things that she's not. And we need to know why. Production needs to explain why they're doing her this way, why they are portraying her this way. Because here we are, this episode 14, I would say since episode 7, maybe 6, we've been seeing things put into their or production's way of making a narrative, instead of giving us things filmed in the manner to which the story should be told. Like, for instance, we're seeing her bake that nice fish dinner thinking that it happened, episode 7 or 8, when that happened, when that should have happened episode 12. Well, no, 13.
Well, I mean, regardless of which episode, let's make it clear. Please. She did not cook that fish dinner for JT before they went to the Bahamas.
Hello.
That did not happen at that point. So the storytelling is fatally inaccurate now at this point, because it is very obvious to everyone Venita didn't, and Venita has made it clear on her own stories because she couldn't take the slander. She did not cook that fish for him before the Bahamas. She was not informed of the girlfriend before she straddled him in the Bahamas. So that happened at some point after they returned. We're thinking, what we've been speculating offline, that after she had the call with him where she said, you need to be my +1, but before she found out from Venita that he supposedly said to the hairdresser, some black girl's trying to ruin my relationship. And we can't for the life of us figure out why production took that scene and put it in such a disingenuous order, because it just doesn't even flow with the rest of the story. It's obvious Venita didn't know he had a girlfriend in the Bahamas, and it's obvious that she found out afterwards.
Had they put that scene in episode 14, things would make more sense as far as her motive for going after JT and not trying to be some home wrecking hubby that we all know she's not.
And remember, Salley was looking at the paragraphs he was sending her after he went home. So it's obvious that before he told her with the fish that he had a woman, Venita was getting lovesick under the impression that what they had was growing and building and it was mutual.
And that's why she was so stunned after at that fish luncheon, and
precisely, and heartbroken, because here she's thinking that they've had this chemistry. Then they had this impassioned moment at the Bahamas. He probably was excited. She straddled him, if you know what I mean. And then he says, "Oh, break, stop. We shouldn't go any further. I have a girlfriend." And remember, she says in the confessional, Well, if I were his girlfriend, I'd be very unhappy with the things that he's saying to me. And that holds true. But here you are trying to make it look like she was very well aware of that girlfriend when she tried to climb him in the Bahamas. And that's messed up.
Makes you think if the girlfriend knows someone in production.
I don't know. There's a lot of rumors rolling around about that girl.
Just about to say, because of, you know, things that's going on with her. And to add insult to injury, what was said about Venita. So apparently Ryan calls Venita and tells Venita that his barber, who also cuts JT's hair, mentioned that. So here we are with playing telephone. Yes. Ryan calls Venita due to a conversation Ryan had with his barber who cuts JT's hair. So apparently from Ryan to Venita, JT told the barber who told Ryan who told Venita. Okay, y'all? So here's the line that was said. Some black girl is trying to interrupt me and my girlfriend's reputation by throwing herself at me.
She said she's trying to break us up.
Yeah. And that's what Ryan told Venita. Venita told it to Leva. And they're like, what? So now Leva has, and they said 30 minutes after Leva and after Venita talked to Leva and hung up, Leva is having a conversation with JT.
Yeah.
Well, 30 minutes.
The way it was put is just doesn't sound good. You know,
it really doesn't.
Because and here's something I need to point out that's very interesting. This is another example of telephone really twisting the tone and intention and words of someone, because like I actually don't, and this is the sad part, like JT has now been accused of calling Patricia a bitch, and nobody really thinks he did by Craig. And now the barber, because of the spin that he put on retelling the story, makes JT look racist.
Right. A misogynist, racist pig.
Yeah.
But the way Ryan put it, let me back up. So again, the barber told Ryan, who told Venita, who told Leva. Now Leva is having a conversation with JT 30 minutes after Venita tells Leva this horrible caption story that she's telling JT what is out there as what JT is saying about Venita. JT heard it immediately. Leva asked JT to clean it up with the barber. JT calls the barber in front of Leva. The barber said, "No, I didn't say that. I said exactly this. How's it going on the show?" And it was told to Ryan that JT has these feelings for one of his friends on the show. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that how it was said?
Here's where I think it gets interesting. JT didn't ask. He said specifically, "Did I say some black girl?" And the barber said, "You said some pretty black, not some black girl, a pretty black girl is like, like involved, you know what I mean?" But they were really weird to sidestep confirming that JT talked about her in the context of his girlfriend. So they don't confirm that part, but the barber then says to JT, "I may have messed it up in translation by saying some black girl," because he doesn't know Venita specifically. Do you get what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
he was basically making it clear to JT, I'm sorry, I may have used that reference to Ryan, relaying what you said.
Right.
And Ryan took it as that's how misogynistically, racistly I would refer to Venita, that JT would refer to Venita, which is not accurate. And that is confirmed by the barber that no, the way that I referenced Venita was my own perception because I don't know her.
Right. And that's what I was going to get to, where Ryan was being messy.
Yes.
Because of all of the things being said about JT and seeing what is being said about JT, and my opinion, jumping on the bandwagon of delivering hate mail from about JT to Venita. Now, he could have said verbatim what the barber said. That it could be so, because the barber apologized for not clarifying exactly what he said. But that's Ryan's mess for delivering the info to Venita, jumping on the bandwagon, being messy so that JT can look more like of an ass the way he's been looking towards other people in this group.
And this is true. Ryan is the one that's leading the charge about that. Leading the charge about the rumors about JT's current girlfriend as well. Ryan is the one that brought up that JT is seeing someone that works at a gym that supposedly has. Yes. No,
that's episode 14.
I think they're not talking about that specifically on the show. That's in the rumor mill. You know how we heard rumblings? Yeah, how we heard rumblings. I do believe. Yes, and we noticed Ryan isn't on the reunion, which I don't know if he comes on, and but he wasn't on the seating chart, so maybe he makes a guest visit, and they just didn't. I mean, he's played a significant part, but he is still going around talking trash about this girl that JT's involved with. He's also saying that she provided JT with some of the information that he used against other castmates, like including Salley and stuff.
So he little something.
Yeah, so that's why they've kind of gone to war. So I don't really know what's motivating Ryan other than me, whatever, but so yeah.
Okay, so Married to Medicine they'll have their 15th and finale episode. Did they say the 15th for Southern Charm was their finale also?
Yes.
Okay.
This episode coming up is the finale.
The reason why I asked this now it makes more sense as to why JT has said he doesn't want to be around these group of characters, because he said Austen on top of Salley, on top of Ryan, Austen, Salley, Ryan. He's sick and tired of these people going through Craig for no reason, because he's not the one.
Well, I mean, in all fairness,
targeted.
In all fairness to JT, two of those folks have lied about exactly what he said. They've put a spin on it that's quite detrimental. Now,
Craig and Ryan.
Right. JT, you run your mouth. And considering everybody didn't necessarily love you, some of the crap you said, especially the weird shit you said about Madison and her husband, you run your mouth a lot, and you really didn't need to tell Taylor about her dude, and you didn't really need to slut shame Salley to make yourself feel better.
Salley has a valid right.
So you're no angel, and it really does look like you're leading Venita on without saying you have a girlfriend, because you've had one for a while. And I'm sorry, but if I were your girlfriend, I wouldn't want you acting the chemistry's in the air between you and Venita.
That's what he said, and that's what Craig and Salley and Madison said in the after show. So he's been leading Venita on, knowing that he got a girl.
Yeah, it's gross. So you're no angel, dude, and so he does go to the reunion, And he does have a little YouTube channel. He is reviewing these episodes. I guess we'll go have to see if he does this one. Oh Lord, I'm actually very curious to hear what he has to say.
I'll
But
watch that later.
yes, but he seems to be trying to get back in good graces based on the way he reacted. So we might see him on next season. Believe it or not.
I'm not there, but I could see him coming back again. I'm not in it. I'm not hearing what we haven't heard, because of course there's always more things that are not being said, things that we are not privy to, that makes people act the way they do. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt as far as being railroaded into someone he's not. However, for the two that we believe he was, being for the two people we believe that were not telling the truth about, there's three other people.
Yeah, for sure.
That we know that he should have chosen a better story,
course of action,
or just right a different course of action with those three people, not including Miss Patricia. We're talking about the cast.
Yep.
So with all that being said, yeah. But at the same time, I don't think he should leave the show because of that.
No.
And luckily the barber cleared it up to where where there was no racist tone under or over in regards to Venita. So I'm glad that was taken care of right then and there. Agreed. Now, if Stacey would have did that on Real Housewives of Potomac, we wouldn't all been wondering what was going on with whether or not she paid JT. But that's a whole different thing.
I know.
I mean, if Stacey listening, watching, listen, that's how you do it, Stacey. During filming.
Oh, let me call right. You call somebody up when you have the truth on your side.
On speaker from hello.
Yep.
That's how you do it, Stacey. I'm just yelling. That's how you do it, Stacey. And we know you watching because all y'all watch each other. But anyway, girl, was there anything else in this episode, child? I think that was it.
No, we covered it all. We were thorough.
Oh. So I'm still smiling about Gretchen the whole time. I've been thinking about Gretchen on and off. But yeah, that was Southern Charm, y'all. Season 10, episode 14. And like Aaron said, next week is the finale, episode 15. No more 2025 episodes, y'all. That's it. They had to cut back. They had to cut back because 2 years ago it was 25, 30 episodes almost, wasn't it?
I know. Girl, I know.
And a 3-part reunion.
Yep. Well, let's see how they tie this all up. Let's see how they tie this all up.
Girl, yes, I hope it is tied with a pretty little bow. And if Bravo is listening, watching, listening, anybody over there, Miss Patricia, Miss Ma'am, I think it's okay for me to say we are requesting that you have a mother's something, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, everybody's mama is there.
Madison. I think so.
We don't know. I mean, maybe not. Molly. Mom talked to her mama.
Molly. She did. I don't think we know anything about Leva or Venita's mom.
Yeah, Venita mom, because she's
that's right. That's right.
We just need to confirm Leva. But Leva almost gone anyway, so she may be gone like Craig be gone. But for the most part, we need to see you do something with the girls and their mama. We need to see some feminine energy going on and teach them something, because they need to understand pH balance. And I think you'd be a good representation. Because we ain't heard nothing about Miss Patricia in these streets. That's a joke, but for real, we would love to see Miss Patricia and the ladies, and not just Madison, but the ladies do
Mhm.
some things, you know.
Yeah.
Now because I know she wasn't a fan of Catherine, so she wasn't doing nothing with Catherine. She wouldn't even say
No.
hello to Catherine, child. So
No, they tried. They got together that one season, but, like,
good,
Whitney's also been horrible to Catherine, so anyway.
girl.
Anyway, Ghosts of Southern Charm Past.
Yes, Ghost of Southern Charm Pass. But thanks again, y'all, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this review. Woo, child. Can't wait for the finale. Finale gonna be good too. I can predict. So
Mhm.
before you go, please let us know where we can find you when you're not recording with me, with either Drag Race or Southern Charm or the OC coming up with Gresham Rossi and them.
Yep. I know, I'm ready. You can find me on Instagram at psychic_ELB, Psychic E, Psychic Aaron. Hit me up in the DMs if you would like to get a psychic reading. And you can also catch me on occasion on Alexander Rogers' channel.
And speaking of, just in case you didn't know, or you're tuning in a little later, we are gonna go live, y'all, with Alex, and I'll show it again. We will be live 2:00 March 15th, Saturday, to do Drag Race episode 11, season 17. So thanks again for tuning in. We appreciate you, and we will catch you next time. Bye, y'all. All day.